Okay, here I am with move zeros, part 2. So what don't we like about this decision? Um, so in the case it's just one number, this did not work. In the case it's two numbers, it did not work. I did not like that at all, quite frankly. And okay, so you have the numbers, right? Let's see. Move the zeros to the end, as they say. And so start with 0. We skip. We find 1. We move it to the first position. And we replace it with a 0. Now, this is the problem, actually, because if it's the same digit, if we just have a array that's just 1, or an array that's just 2 numbers, then what's gonna happen is we're gonna replace it with 0, and then that's not correct. And if it's already here in the right position, then that's not good. So what needs to happen is so J is keeping the position of the non-zero numbers. So if we run through this once, then yes, there are going to be numbers that are, well, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, give me a 0. Okay. So 1 is gonna stay where it is. 0 we skip. 3 we copy it to this position. Skip. Okay. And so I guess we get to 4. It's not 0. We move it here. But this is still 4. And so basically, if you have another for loop, you can start it from j, I guess. Let I equal j, which is the last index. So if we moved 3 numbers, j becomes 3, and then I less than nums.length I plus plus, and we just fill it in with zeros. So nums I equals 0. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the next possible way is a swap. So we swap the numbers. When we find a number that's not 0, we swap it to the first position. So no numbers are being overwritten, just swapping them. Okay, good morning. Another way to solve this problem is doing a 1 pass and just swapping the numbers when we find zeros. Sounds pretty intuitive, right? So let j equals 0 for let I equals 0. I is less than nums.length I plus plus. So the letter that comes after I is J. So that's our 2 pointers. 1 pointer to go through the array, 1 pointer to keep track of the next available index to place stuff. And so basically when we find a number that is not 0, then we swap it with the first position. So I'm going to do a dumbbell assignment. I call this a dumbbell assignment. Can you guess? Looks like a dumbbell, doesn't it? Nums j, comma, nums I, nums I, comma, nums j. So the number at position 0 becomes the current number we're looking at when it is not 0, and then we move the position, and that's it. Does that make sense? Okay, let me try to explain this visually. So we have our array, and for numbers that are not 0, let's swap them. Okay, and so I is 0. Nums of I is 0, so we skip. We go to 1. It is not 0, so nums j, which is 0, is assigned to the value of nums I, which is 1, and nums I is assigned what was j, which was 0. Increment I, it becomes 1. Now we go to the next number. We are at position 2. It's a 0, we skip. Next one is a 0, so we skip. Next we have a 3. 3 is not 0, so nums position j, which is 1, becomes 3. And the position of the for loop pointer becomes 0. And that happens again for 12. And there you have it. It's sorted. Okie doke. Alright guys. Bye bye.